Okay, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee will come to order. And we'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we do roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Webster?
Here.
Ms. White?
Here.
Mr. Halloran? Here. Mr. Renzi?
Here.
Ms. Drumheller?
Here.
Mr. Morrow?
Here.
Thank you.
And Mr. Breho's absent. Yeah. Okay.
No more wine.
Okay, going through announcements and agenda modifications. Does anyone have any? No. No announcements, okay. Approval of minutes from our September 23rd meeting.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
I hear a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Looks like we have minutes are approved as written. Do we have any public input? Do we have any public input on Zoom?
Nobody's raised their hand at this time.
Thank you so much. And now to unfinished business, Mr. Blankenship, current project updates.
Good evening, Advisory Board. Riverview Park planning continues. We have a follow-up meeting with the consultant next week. So we anticipate coming back to council and the public maybe in December, but definitely by January. The backstops at Barber Street, we went out to bid. The bids came back in 4 or 5 times higher than what we had budgeted.
Wow.
So we're going to be able to do them in-house. We're going to change the design a little bit, but we will do them in-house and be under budget for that. And then I left the Born Learning Trail on here just to recognize that the October 26th, United Way and FP&L and park staff was able to construct the Born Learning Trail at Easy Street Park, and I believe it's getting quite a bit of use.
Have you been seeing much action on that park, Joanne?
Not yet, but I'm thinking during summer when kids are down there longer periods of time. But I love the sidewalk painting. We could do that whole park in painting like that. It's pretty nice.
It was fun doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you did it with your
Yeah, my granddaughter.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so we'll move to item B, which is committee member park updates. Mr. Renzi, would you like to start?
Sure. I have no input on the parks. They're all doing fine. I was just wondering what was going to be going on with the Riverview Park.
As far as the maintenance or the redesign? Redesign, that'll be coming up here. At this point, we really don't know. It's still in the consultant's hands. And again, we will have a meeting next week to get caught up on where we are, and we should be coming back to the public and council, I would think, in January.
January, okay.
So is that, is the Riverview Park planning is first going to go back to like public input?
It won't go for public input because we've been that phase.
Okay.
It'll be more of a just an unveiling of the design for council. It'll be a council public joint unveiling for comment, and I think we would go for approval at that time as well.
Do we get...
Will it come to us first?
I believe so.
Okay, so because in processes before, it generally, we would get a look at it and be able to just make it, and discuss to make a recommendation to council before it goes directly to council.
No, I apologize. Yes, it would come here to this body for comment.
Do you think that's going to be next month or December?
January.
January.
Probably.
I'll know more on next Monday after we
Okay.
have our meeting. But.
'Cause that's a big
I would hope
project.
we would have a draft for December meeting, but I'll know more after our follow-up with it.
I don't know about others on the committee, but that is a very large project. So I'm hoping that when it comes to us, that it doesn't come to us to try to roll through all that in one meeting. I think we need to digest it a little bit, think about it, have some discussion. So I'd like to see, if possible, if we could have that as an agenda item for a couple of meetings, because that's a really large project.
Is this something that we have input into, or they're just bringing, this is what they've designed?
Well, we've already done the public input. So what would be brought back to you now is the consultant's interpretation of that public input. It
So like a
wouldn't really be.
conceptual plan?
It'd be conceptual, right. And we would be looking for consensus, and consensus doesn't mean that you agree with everything, but that there's consensus on the overall design, because even once we get through that, and we start getting into construction documents, and things could change a bit depending on unforeseen circumstances. So, we wouldn't bring it to you to redesign, we just bring it to you for comment, and we would hope to have consensus on the overall concept.
I think too, when we do things like that, and we talk about it, and then it does go to council, they do look at what we do say, and they'll say, well, Parks and Rec Committee had a question about this or that, so sometimes that helps them, I think, at times.
And that's why, like, for example, tonight we got Bryant Court. That's a similar situation, to go to you first and then go to council.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Dante, you're done, Dante, with
Yep.
your report? Okay.
Yes.
Joanne?
Easy Street, I think the last time I asked I don't know if it's grass or whatever it is that's on top of the water there. Did I hear that they were addressing that?
That was treated. It was treated in mid-October, right before the installation of the learning trail, and it takes several treatments.
So what happens? Does that vegetation then die and just goes to the bottom?
It's an algae, yeah.
But does that make it then make the bottom more fertile?
Well, no. I mean, one of the reasons why we're having that problem is there's been so much fresh water, so much
So much
rain,
what?
so
Fresh
much rain.
Okay.
So there's not, there's not enough oxygen getting in the water. So that's why you have algae. And we are due for another treatment. We knew one treatment wasn't going to do it. It did improve things a little bit, but with so much fresh water in there,
Yeah,
so
because
much
I've never
rain.
seen it that much, and it is pretty thick in there. And then the Bourne Learning Trail, they did a good job. They worked hard on getting that up that day. I went over and walked while they were painting. Halloween. I talked to our city manager. I saw him somewhere, and I said, you do realize that the apron to the parking lot at Easy Street Park, think about what day it went in. And he looked at me, and we realized they took out and we had fresh cement there for Halloween. So all those cars that usually park in that parking lot, parents with tons of kids, weren't able to go in there. And I had to laugh. I thought that was pretty good timing. But everybody did fine. The cars parked all around the park, and we had so many kids. It's pretty unbelievable how many kids come to Easy Street Park area and trick or treat. And this is not mine, but I was bike riding today, and I was down on the waterfront, and I had walked out on the docks, just like, I haven't been out there in a while. And there's those two telescopes that are on the end of that short dock. And the one I looked at, it really is unbelievable, because I could see cars on A1A. The other one is not working, and it's kind of wobbly on the stand. So that one, I'm not sure what you do with that, or who takes care of it. And then the other thing I didn't even realize, there's a water fountain near a bench, kind of there near the statue. and the water pressure on it's so low that you couldn't drink out of it. And I didn't have a bottle, but I did put my hand underneath the bottle water thing, and no water came out, so they might want to check on that
And
one.
you're talking about Riverview?
Yeah, Riverview, right there by the sidewalk. So,
You gotta go down to the dish where the dogs drink.
thanks.
Yeah,
Can't get
that's
back
the one
up.
that has the dog dish.
Otherwise, things they're good.
All right, Ms. Webster?
I think my parks are fine. It's the ball field and Hardy Park. They look good.
Yeah, I've been going to Hardy Park lately, and
It's a nice park.
it is a
I like
really
it.
nice
I
park.
like it.
I really like that. Mr. Morrow?
Okay, Yacht Club, Main Street Boat Ramp, okay. Richard, I already mentioned to you about Blossom Street Park, the caps on the gate. And the pickleball courts, there's missing a windscreen on the west side of the courts.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so my parks are Filbert, which is fine. I went over there early in the morning, saw a few little turtles coming out of their nests with their little hole. Garden Club Park, I did have a friend that donated a couple of trees that were
They're
planted
in,
there.
yeah.
One of the things she wanted to know if there was a possibility, could she purchase through the city a plaque or an in memory of plaque? Is that possible?
We will be coming to you in the next
Because we're still
meet-
putting those pieces together?
Yeah, we have a whole new memorial program.
Okay.
So she will be able to do that.
Okay. Is that going to be this year, do you think?
It will definitely be by January.
Okay.
I know we talked about that, where all those little signs were all over the trees about moving them maybe to one
Yeah,
major board, and then it just having the tree numbered or something. So, and that's still up for that? Okay.
Yeah. So so that project is still under scrutiny and is going to go to council to be approved, correct? For
Right. It's a
pricing.
totally different, we're going web-based versus
Oh, nice.
hard copy, and it's a very unique situation. So
Okay. We'll look
we're
forward
excited about it.
Look forward to hearing that. Periwinkle Park, I really like that park for some, and it's close to me, so I'm around it pretty often. A lot of folks go there and eat breakfast and lunch, believe it or not. I actually, it's a quiet little park, but I see a little bit more going on. Now, we have two parks that were given to Mr. Abrejo, but he has not attended any meetings, and that is Schuman Drive Park and Kildare Park. So I'm not sure should we reallocate those? I've had no contact with him. Have you?
I happen to have a meeting with him Friday, and we'll address
Okay,
this
so
at that.
we'll look at that on our next agenda item.
Yeah.
And Paul, do you have a report on your parks?
I thought his crews did a great job cleaning up after the hurricane. I had gone there shortly after the hurricane, a lot of palm fronds down. I went by yesterday, they were immaculate, and no litter to speak of. You guys do a great job. So I am hoping that we'll be able to get some native plants. Maybe if I talk to Natural Resources Board, there would be.
Or where?
For both parks.
Okay.
Yeah, both of those parks, George Street is definitely
There.
really flat, but
Yeah.
Bryant Park, we're going to be talking about
Yes,
today,
right,
so we
yes.
can probably talk about that for wherever they're going to be doing
Mm-hmm.
any planting. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank you so much.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
Because I know it's not having to do with my park. It just popped into my head about the Citizen of the Year.
What?
Oh, the
volunteer of the year?
The volunteer.
I'll need to get with the city manager and determine what we're going to do. We had 2 entries. So I don't know whether we want to follow through with that but I'll get with him.
Thanks.
And
Okay. You got mine, right?
yeah,
I think we should follow through with it, even if we only have that, because then it's out people might be more aware of it. If we do that.
It's a start.
Well, we can have a little conversation about that when we get to our next item, because that's, the next item on the agenda is about the centennial celebration.
Okay, it just popped in my head, and old
Oh, that's
people,
okay.
you know,
Popped in?
it comes
popped
in and out really quick.
So item C is upcoming events at Riverview Park, and want to give us those?
Well, the first weekend of, I think it's the first weekend of December, is going to be very busy at Riverview.
Evidently.
You see here, we got the Pearl Harbor ceremony, we got the Hullabaloo craft beer event on the 7th, and then that night we have the Christmas parade. By the way, the deadline to enter the Christmas parade is this coming Friday. The deadline for vendors to sign up to be a vendor at the Centennial is this coming Friday. So both of those deadlines are this Friday in case anyone's interested. They can go on our website. The parade application's on the website, and the vendor application is on the front page of the website at the top.
Is the Vero Beach Parade the same day?
I don't know.
Do you know the Christmas parade?
I think it's the next week. I don't think they're the same day. I don't think they are the same. Do you know the time for the Pearl Harbor ceremony? Do you know when that, no?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, is it on the website?
I doubt it, because we're supporting the
Okay.
organization that's doing it. I believe it is at 9 a.m., but I am not positive. What we can, tomorrow, I'll email you with what time it
Okay,
begins.
yeah, I would just be interested. That's a lot of stuff in Riverview Park to get people in and out. I'm assuming that will be in the morning, before the beer opens.
That's why I think it's at 9. I believe it's at 9 a.m. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we move on to the 8th, which is the Centennial Celebration, beginning at 10 a.m. with a parade from Main Street to Riverview. And it'll be, it's a 6-pony parade. We don't have any, the only float in the parade is the Clydesdales with pulling their carriage with the elected officials and Teddy Roosevelt on it. So it'll be a short parade. And then the festivities start the parade's at 10, and then other festivities start at 10:45, going all the way to about 6:15 with the fireworks. We have 2 bands. We have a kids zone that'll be at Twin Piers Park, and it'll take up the whole area of Twin Piers. So there's a lot of activities planned for that day.
Are the fireworks going to be where they were for July 4th?
Yes, ma'am.
Over by the piers? Okay. And then, it is the same then.
And
Yeah.
I guess I brought this up a few years at a time. I don't know why Vero Beach and Sebastian can't plan different weeks for their parades. And I'm not sure who does that or plans it, but it just seems, it's too bad that we can't do them on different weekends. Just saying.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're in charge of that next year.
Oh, we're giving you countywide authority,
Yeah,
Richard.
That and $1, I can get a soda.
Oh, the Centennial Celebration, so that's also great. There's going to be food there, there's going to be vendors there.
All sorts of vendors, food. Hullabaloo is leaving the beer wagon over for the next day. So it should be an eventful morning.
So
and
the craft
afternoon.
beer event's going to roll into both days?
No, just the beer truck.
Just the beer
Yeah,
truck?
not the
Okay.
craft part of it.
Whew, that's a lot going on. Parks and Rec, you guys are going to be
sure
very
is.
busy.
What about light up?
It sure is.
And I did see on the webpage, there's Light Up Night too, isn't it?
Light Up is on Friday night.
That's the 7th also?
No, Friday night the 6th. The 7th is Saturday.
Oh, that's right, okay, so December 6th.
And that, we'll have the Centennial tent at the Chamber of Commerce building. and then all of the other, I don't think, the Christmas tree goes up in the park tomorrow, and then the rest of the decorations go up around the park in the CRA on November 27th.
Okay. Lots, that's gonna be a busy weekend, wow, okay. New business, number 8, is the Bryant Court Playground Design and Surface Selection.
Pictures of,
Yep,
but I want to throw up the picture of the existing conditions of the playground. So it is in dire need of a replacement. And we had it budgeted, but then there was a situation with a payment in lieu of, which has to do with development, that provided us with $80,000 to replace this playground. So this is what this is what's there today. And what we're recommending as far as overall design is something like this that includes swings that presently they don't have, there's no swings there. It includes ADA swing and then the climbing apparatus. And so it's it's almost double the size of what is there now. So what I would like to come to consensus on tonight is what type of surface do we use? We can use mulch like we have at Creative, which is engineered mulch, or we can use the artificial surface, not the poured in place like we have at Creative, but an artificial grass surface that is ADA accessible. You know, from a maintenance standpoint, staff would prefer the artificial grass surface because it's just easier to maintain. The only maintenance issues that we could have with that is in the Florida sun, the seams tend to have to be re-sown every now and then between the rain and the sun and all that stuff. But, you know, as opposed to having mulch where we have to keep it in, blow it in and keep it raked and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm asking for tonight is consensus on either one, mulch or grass, but staff would prefer the artificial turf.
What's the cost difference? It's got to be a lot.
$10,000. And
For-
you have both proposals in your packet.
Yeah.
yes.
In both of them are under budget. So the mulch is $64,000. The grass, you know, the playground with the grass surface is $74,000.
So I looked at these and I looked at all of the numbers too, and I think over the course of the playgrounds that we've been kind of reconfiguring, that part of it has, at least in my mind, has been to do the best we can to have as much ADA accessibility at all of our parks. In that way, I really like the artificial turf because you can push a wheelchair over it. And I know we don't have all of that in the Creative Playground, but we do have that one area that you can push so that there's access. And also, there's a lot of grandparents that take kids to these parks, and this surface, an artificial surface, would be much more conducive to a cane or any type of mobility aid for someone, and even a stroller to some of the children to use the ADA swings will be strolled over there, lifted up and placed into the ADA. So I really think the cost difference was so slight, and the ability to have better usage of the park increases dramatically if we move to an artificial turf. That's my opinion.
I agree with that. I would ask, as far as hot, like if you're
Well, in the old
Playing on
days, the early style of this did get hot because it used a heat-absorbing subsurface, or like the little pellets and stuff. This doesn't typically get hot. Plus, it's going to be in a shaded area as well. Perfect. So I don't have any concern about the heat.
Do we have any playgrounds? What playgrounds do we have that kind of surfacing now?
None that have an artificial grass.
Okay, and if it does start coming up, can it be
But that's a very common thing. You re-sow the seams.
When you say re-sow them, do you mean like sewing like in gardening or sewing like with a needle?
Well,
That sounds stupid, but
it's a type of, it is literally sewing them back together.
Okay.
But we don't have the expertise to do that. We would hire a playground installer to do it, but that's just a common issue with these types of surfaces because they are seamed together.
Is
Versus
it,
poured.
if the seams, so I don't know how, size-wise, how big these plats come of the artificial turf, but if a seam split, does that close the park?
No. No, we can.
So it doesn't really present a hazard?
I mean, if we let it go long enough, it will, but that's not our style. That's not how
Yeah.
we maintain facilities.
Did they do a warranty of so
Oh,
many
yeah.
years on that then? And then after that, we're on our own? Might be interesting to try it, to see. It might be something we might then want to pursue in other parks in
As we
coming.
go, yeah, as we move forward with,
Because we will be coming behind quickly with Friendship. Now that,
yes.
now that this is materialized like it has, we can look at replacing Friendship.
I see that on the picture here, the old one, that there is a picnic table with a cover. Is that going to stay?
That'll stay.
Okay.
And, we have enough money, we'll be able to upgrade some of the fencing,
There's a
the
couple.
parking lot, some of that stuff too.
Is the picnic table at this park, the old wood style, or is it?
They are wooden, but
poly-
they're part of the pavilion, they're part of the shade.
It's the polywood? No?
No, it's real wood.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's real good.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen these interlocking heavy rubber, look like mats in playgrounds?
Yes.
Would that be something feasible?
Yeah, but then you spend a lot of money on a subsurface when you do that, because you have to have either a packed gravel or some type of subsurface with artificial.
Once you put that, it's maintenance free though.
No, it buckles and just like any other type of surface,
Yeah.
it'll buckle and you'll have to come back in and level it every now and then, and so there's some level of maintenance to it.
So with the artificial grass, then, with the sand settling, it can kind of move a little bit with that? Because
It'll have
sand's
some
always moving.
flexibility, but it won't
Dip.
It won't be a trip hazard like if you had a solid piece of something that was out of.
I think we should try it and see how we like it, and that could be something to check with other parks.
I have one other question about the turf. When it rains, does it go under the turf?
No, there's drainage built in.
It's drains, okay.
Is that more or less like a football field covering?
It's more or less, yeah. It's not, the blades aren't all that high though.
Doesn't have that black stuff that's involved though, right?
I have a question.
You see it kicking up all the time?
Right.
Mr. Morrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the artificial turf, but here's my question. Miracle, are they the ones providing the playground?
They provide, yes, that's the name of the company that would be providing the playground.
Did we, maybe I missed the meeting or something, but did we look at this once before?
Schumann is a Miracle product. Schumann Playground. We have a couple of Miracles. Creative is not a Miracle product, but
I'll be specific. Did we get different bids for
Yes.
this?
we did.
So what are we looking at then for a total price with the grass?
74,000.
Okay, and just because I'm curious about, I was talking to you about zones, this comes out of the zone for this neighborhood then, for
No,
this playground?
this is a donation.
This has been donated, so
The-
that's why we got to
fee
go
in
to
lieu
Bryant
of.
first.
Okay.
Yeah, so that this is not part of the CIP.
Oh, so we're not paying for this?
Labor-wise.
The developer's paying for it.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Do you need a motion or anything, or?
Please.
Yes, we
I'd
do.
like to make a motion that we use artificial turf and proceed with this playground.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Any
you.
opposed? So, okay. And that is with the playground that has the handicap seating.
The handicap
Okay,
swing.
because they weren't really labeled unless it's in that blue and I just can't read it.
Kind of in the picture.
Yeah, but there's a playground without it too. So I mean, this swings without it, so I wanted to make sure that we were getting the ones that had the.
It definitely has the,
What kind of timeline now are we looking for?
well, assuming we have approval Wednesday night from council, we'll cut a purchase order Thursday or Friday. Hopefully, I don't know what the turnaround time is really, I mean, exactly, but I'm thinking of a mid-January installation.
Thank you.
To get it on order. Yeah, I'm sure people
But
will
with
be
the
happy.
holidays, it could be longer than that.
Yeah, the holidays really make things a little more difficult sometimes.
And Madam Chair, I have something else on the new business, I just as an informational item for you guys.
Certainly.
You may have noticed it in many of the parks, but we've been installing the outdoor AED cabinets.
Yes.
So, you know, we had AEDs and let's use Barber Street for example. We had them in the football concession and then the softball concession, but they were behind locked doors. Now in 13 parks, we're bringing, everything is going to be available outside to the public. The way it works is if there's a need for an AED, if you have an incident, you call 911, 911 will give you the code to punch in to get to the AED. That way it's secure and better, nobody's going to walk off with it.
Less
of
vandalism
that?
potential.
That's
That's a
brilliant.
great,
Well, I don't know who, it was Mr. Benton's idea to bring it to Sebastian, but I don't know who invented it.
Oh, smart.
But like Hardy Park will have one.
I've seen the
Riverview.
one walking, that's next to the restrooms
Main
next to Krabby
Street boat
Bill's,
ramp.
where it's already up
And it's
where the water.
outside?
It's outside, yeah, it's a big yellow box says AED.
So that's a very positive development that we've had over the last few
I
years.
think that's a really wonderful addition to our parks, seriously.
You're right.
That's
And
a
then
great
how
idea.
about the swings on the waterfront?
Swing and bench?
Yeah.
We have several grants that we've put in. Well, first of all, we got to address the erosion. So that's in permitting right now. We've already funded the design and the designer submitted for permitting. Then subsequently, we've applied for monies from FIND and from FERDAP, which is the Florida Recreation Development Assistance Program, to actually do the construction of to do the shoreline stabilization and swing and bench park. So I would imagine in this fiscal year, we will have that park done, assuming we get funded from the grant.
So I do want to ask if there's any public input on these items, or is anything on Zoom? Sleeping back.
There is no one on Zoom.
Thank you so much. So we've done the Bryant Court Playground design. Are we not having a meeting in November? Did we cancel that? Because this agenda says, oh, we are in November. Oh, okay.
The next meeting will be December 16th.
December 16th, after all of the goodies that happen. So we'll have some reports. Is everyone going to the Centennial?
We will send you, we'll email you the program for the day, so you know what's coming up when. And
Oh, that would be nice to get that. So Friday, what kind of vendors are you looking for still?
food vendors, any kind of vendor really, but we do need some more food vendors.
And that has to be in by Friday? Okay. All right.
And I'd also like to tell the public, if you're looking for a T-shirt to celebrate the 100-year with Sebastian, you can still get it at City Hall.
Right here at City Hall.
And also the medallions, the silver medallions are
medallions.
beautiful.
And now we have the commemorative,
Oh, the ornament.
Tree ornament.
Yeah, that's really nice. So if you haven't gotten those, come down and check them out, because they're very, very nice.
Yeah, there were a lot of people wearing them at the festival at Riverview this past weekend. That was really nice to see. Okay, anyone else have anything?
No.
Not hearing anymore? This week.
Whoop. Items for next agenda. I have something.
Oh, you want something put on the
Yeah.
next? I'm sorry.
Can we do, maybe not for December, maybe in January, do a discussion on impact fees? I think I asked you about that. I'm still curious about what the impact fee amounts are for a new building and what is the update of money in the different zones. I don't know if everyone remembers how the monies for the zones go. I'd kind of like to see how that is. And also my question was, I thought years ago, if there was impact fee money, it had to be used up by a certain number of years. And I don't know if they had changed that. I think they did, but I think it was like 7 years or something.
I believe it still is.
Is that still?
I believe so.
And then that money goes into the pot?
Well, but we have it all programmed. It's all programmed out in the CIP, so there's little chance that there'll be anything left over.
No fear of.
But I'd like to
spending
kind of see,
money.
and also the question about, because I don't remember about gated subdivisions, how their impact fees work. When there's builders putting in homes in those areas, how they do their impact fees also.
Okay.
Anyway, if we could do that maybe in January and get an update. And I think I also asked, when's the last time the impact fees were changed, the amount that was collected?
It's been a long time, but
Yeah, and I think
we're
that's
undertaking
something,
that now.
yeah, that we need to look at.
Changing.
And I'm kind of curious how much maybe in this last year, the impact fees have increased because of all the building going on right now.
Not as much as you would think when you look at the budget.
At
I was very
$975 a
surprised.
unit, that's our impact fee right now.
I was
And
real-
impact fee money it's like for new playground equipment.
Increased level of service.
It's not for maintenance though, right?
No.
It's for new things then.
Right.
Okay.
So, kind of leading off that, since it will be December, can we get where we are on the discretionary spending for the committee?
You've got a clean slate right now.
Are we zeroed out on that, or do we still have?
No, you have a new.
So we
That's
have the
we
new
just
one in there? Okay,
October was our new fiscal year, and it re-upped for you then.
okay.
Okay. And how much was that again?
$20,000?
$20,000.
Okay.
Then I have a question. Can we ever put like little additions onto these playgrounds? Like I saw the coolest thing in West Melbourne, a piece of equipment. Can we do something
Sure.
like that? Okay.
I mean, as long as we don't have it'd be challenging at a place where you have a artificial surface, but it can be done.
Well, bring a picture next time, yeah, and if you can get it to Richard, then he can send it out to all of us so we can take a peek at it. Anything else? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.